Alrighty, today we're going to be looking at the Majin Buu Saga Red Zone Stage 3 versus the, I just believe it is Super Buu, as well as all the forms that he absorbs throughout his little endeavor, if you will. We are going to start off in this fight against Buu Tanks. Now, I know I'm using a powerful comeback team, but in this video, I want it to be crystal clear for those of you watching. This is not a global tutorial. This is not a guide for beating it with a powerful comeback team, because I just did the no item run with the powerful comeback team on JP because the team is good in order just to get the mission done. So please keep that in mind. Don't say like, I don't have these characters, I can't do this mission. That is not the purpose of this video. If you'd like a guide for that, we can go ahead and take a look and see what we can do for a powerful comeback team for the global side of things. But as you guys can see, that is not what we are doing here. So I just want that to be abundantly clear that I am not going to be putting powerful comeback in the title or anything like that, so we're all on the same page. Capiche? Capiche. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the statistics of all of these phases as we are going through the fights, because this is a bit of a longer one, 17 minutes of gameplay to be exact. That is a bit longer these days in terms of like how long a fight is, in terms of like the, you know, just duration, right? Like 18 minutes or 17 minutes of gameplay with this game can tend to be a bit. I don't remember if we use orange or not, and if we do use orange, I'll go ahead and speed blitz through that so you guys don't have to sit through it with me, because you guys know how that goes. But let's see. So Majin Buu Go Tanks. We've got 70 million HP with 550,000 defense and 66% damage reduction with a 350,000 attack stat. And then he does 10 attacks per turn. His super attack is the Destructive Grenade, which causes supreme damage to the enemy. Then he has 875,000 damage on that super with a 15.22% chance to launch it. He can do one of these per turn, and then he has a cooldown of 10. So he can't be stunned, he can't be sealed, he can't be attack lowered, he can't be defense lowered, and he has a 100% chance to seal you. And then he deals 6,600. I can't talk. He deals 66,666 damage to the enemy every turn and will not be KO'd due to receiving this damage. So you cannot go to 0 HP on that beginning part. So does that make sense? Like when you guys are seeing like that little flash effect come up of like red and we lose HP, it is 66,666 damage. So that is kind of the gimmick with this specific phase. So there's all the stats on this guy, and they say that the hardest phase of this is the BUUHAN phase. So we can be talking about that, or we will be talking about that as we keep going. But one thing to note with the BUUHAN phase, which is going to be the next phase, funny enough, it is actually, you are able to debuff this Buu. So you can get attack lowering on him and stuff like that, so a unit like Tech Ultimate Gohan is actually going to be putting in a decent amount of work with his attack lowering, and that is going to help out a decent bit. Not in this phase, so you can see that we still have a ways to go to get through this phase. Like we don't even have him down to like half HP yet, but we will get there. And you'll see he's a funny guy. Goes ahead and locks the unit that we did not need to be locked, or not locked, sealed, excuse me. Because that Evolution Blue and Kaioken Blue Goku is you know, they need their super attacks to look their best, but in the next phase, they will be able to attack lower if they do end up supering, so that is pretty helpful. But you can just see that this Buu Tank's phase is just taking a bit because he is a bit tanky, but now that we've kind of got Evolution Blue Vegeta going with his extra key and stuff like that, we'll start getting the 24 key, and that is going to help out a decent bit. So, you know, all in all, I think the Super Buu fight is harder than this one, but this is a much longer fight. Because there is 5 phases, and it just takes a bit, right? They're all decently tanky. The HP goes 70 million, 90 million, 60 million, 55 million, 35 million, and then the super attack at the very end does go up a decent bit, and you guys will see in this specific run, we do take a massive super attack towards the end. I forget who takes it. I believe it was Evolution Blue Vegeta, but I forget, and he actually ends up taking a lot. It might not have been him, I forget, because I did this run a few days ago when the event dropped. Like you can see, I was doing it at like 6:58 in the morning, the day that it dropped. But I think I just had a video going up that day that I assumed you guys would care about more. So we are pushing this one back a couple of days after the Part 2 LR reveal and all the discussion that we had with that. I think the Part 2 LR Gohan, just kind of side commentary while the gameplay is going on, but I think that Part 2 LR Gohan is decent. But I think the big problem, you know, Minato kind of reiterated this on Twitter, shout out to Minato. Tech Ultimate Gohan just feels better, and that's a shame. Because LR Ultimate Gohan from the Buu Saga was something that people were waiting for a decent bit, so. Okay, obviously not using the active skills in phase 1. I'm sure you guys can piece together why we are not using those in phase 1. Evolution Blue Vegeta, or UI Goku should clean this up, and what's unfortunate about this situation is that Power Awakened Piccolo is not going to be able to take any hits, so that is a bit of a pain in the butt, but, you know, whatever. What can you do? So UI Goku's going to send us home here with whatever damage he's going to do. I forget the exact number, but good is your answer. Yeah, 10 million damage, not bad. That's, you know, a decent bit of his HP. So now, we have reached the quote-unquote hardest phase in this fight. Now, why is this the hardest phase? He has 90 million HP with a 500,000 attack stat, 650,000 defense with a 69% damage reduction, and 11 attacks per turn. And then he is doing 1.5 million HP, or 1.5 million on a super attack with a 15.05% chance to launch with 1 super attack per turn and a 10 cooldown. He cannot be stunned, he cannot be sealed, and rather than dealing 66,666 damage to the enemy, he's going to be dealing 120,000 damage to the enemy. So we are going to be losing 120,000 HP frame 1 every single turn. So it's going to, you have to out heal him. It's going to be a bit of a pain in the butt. And again, where the difference is with this one and why you could argue that this is not the hardest phase of this fight is the fact that you can see up on the top left when we are doing this that you can actually do attack lowering and defense lowering to him. So you can see how the only thing that is crossed out on the top where you can see his typing and stuff like that, it's just the stun icon and the seal icon. So the attack lowering is you're able to do, and same thing with the defensive lowering. And that is where Tech Chadhan comes in, because he is going to be doing attack lowering on his super attack effects. So that will be helpful if he does 3 to 4 supers. That's going to be a good omen for us, right? Especially going forward, because like Gogeta Blue is going to do a decent bit of damage right here, and then Tech Ultimate Gohan is going to come through with whatever he needs to do as well. So like once we get out of this phase, it gets progressively easier up until we get to the last phase against Majin Buu with the Supreme Kai absorb, the South Supreme Kai, just because he hits pretty hard, right? Like the supers are staying above 1 million for the rest of the fight, but you know, especially the iteration of this team, the only way you really can get caught is with a slot 1 super. To like UI Goku or something like that, because UI Goku, I'm sure you guys know at this point, is definitely dodge or die, but more than enough to deal with some of this. So Ultimate Gohan's doing his thing here. You can see that we are getting the attack lowering coming in, so that is helpful. And then he's also doing crits, which is obviously nice, but not his role. And then how much is this going to do to Ultimate Gohan? It is going to do 240,000, so still a decently hard-hitting super. And then he's also going to tack on an additional 120,000 to that. So this is where I find myself in a bit of a pickle, because you guys can see we have you can see we have nowhere to put Evolution Blue Vegeta and Kaioken Blue Goku. So, you know, what we ended up doing was using the active skill for the additional damage reduction we get. But the thing is we have to attack before that, so I couldn't just toss him in slot 1. So obviously we had to put UI Goku in slot 1 and stuff like that. You guys know how that goes. So here we go. What do you got for me? Like UI Goku does decent damage there, and then whatever we get here are going to be additionals. These are going to be guaranteed crits, so those are obviously going to help as well. Then Evolution Blue is going to do his thing, and then the Joined Forces unit is also going to do their thing. All right, we may or may not have had technical difficulties, but we're good. Obviously, the same run still. So what I was saying with Evolution Blue Vegeta and Kaioken Blue Goku, they have this a really high damage reduction on their active skill turn. I can actually kind of pull this up as I'm talking here. But like I said, they get a super high damage reduction number because of the HP loss that they have, right? So it's like before their EZA, it used to not be this way, but after they got their EZA, it became much easier for them to actually stay like alive, right? So on the active skill turn, where is this at? Is this the... We want the EZA version, his active skill. So, where is it? I don't know why I can't find this. Perform a critical hit when key meter is at 24. Once only, damage received by 70% when HP is 50% or lower. So like after you do the active skill, you get damage reduction plus 70% or by 70%. So they have that damage reduction. And then obviously when you can see with the damage, we didn't even need it. But with the attack raise that we got from that, you can see we put out some pretty mean attack stats. So that is why we did what we did. Now, in this scenario right here, you guys can see we got extremely unlucky with where the attacks kind of played out. And so here, I forget, yeah, what we do is we just go with the Gogeta taunt, because at this point in the run, when I'm playing this, I am like I don't know, because this was like my first initial playthrough of it, right? I'm like, I don't know how many phases are left, and then I'm like, so I'm assuming we have at least 1 to 2 more, and then I'm like, okay, Piccolo in slot 1 will work just fine, obviously, because now we are doing the Gogeta taunt. And then with Piccolo being locked in slot 1, I'm like, let's keep Evolution Blue Vegeta around on the turn, because he'll just be a safer unit to have on the next phase, potentially, because Evolution Blue Vegeta can eat a super attack when Gogeta has to dodge it, right? And it's like, yeah, you have that taunt turn, but you had to use it right there to protect Orange Piccolo, who got locked in slot 1. So you can see right away, that would have been a super, that would have been a dead Orange Piccolo. So we played that properly, and we are good to go now. And so like the Gogeta taunt coming through and doing its thing, always reliable from him. Then Evolution Blue Vegeta doing a 16 or 17 million attack stat. I already forget what it was. But let's go ahead and go back to the event here as I'm talking. And we continue to talk about this phase. So now this phase against Buu Tanks has 60 million HP with a 500,000 attack stat and a 600,000 defensive stat with 66% damage reduction and 9 attacks per turn. His super attack is the Super Donut Chain, as you guys saw there, or like the Galactic Donuts, I'm sure most of you would know it as. Causes immense damage to the enemy. Does 1.4 million damage on the super attack with a 15.56% chance to happen or to occur. He does 1 per turn and has a 9 cooldown. Now, no sealing, no stunning, no attack lowering, no defensive lowering, and then he's also dealing 50,000 damage to the enemy every turn, and then you obviously can't be KO'd. We already talked about that earlier. You know, the first phase did 66,000 damage, the second one did 120,000 damage, and now it is being tuned down a bit, and we are doing only 50,000 damage to us now, so that is a little bit more manageable, and we can heal that up with orbs almost every single time, so that is good. And then you guys saw with Piccolo being in slot 1, he is going to be locking a character every time, so right here, he thinks he's a funny guy, but we have a Giga Chad in slot 1, and I believe I do Ultimate Gohan here, because I'm like, I don't know how many phases are left, and I'm also kind of worried that, like, defensively, he's not going to be there at 500k, so I'm like, okay, 820,000, I'm much more comfortable with that with guard at this point, because I'm assuming, like, mentally where I'm at this point, I'm thinking in the fight while I'm doing this, I'm like, surely this is like, you know, he's powering down, right? He's going from, you know, Buu Tanks, or from BUUHAN to Buu Tanks, and I'm thinking like, okay, if this makes sense, if this is canon, quote unquote, this is kind of what I'm thinking at this time, like, then he's probably getting progressively weaker as the fight goes, because it's sometimes for the initial run, this is code word for AKA I'm laying in bed playing this run, and I wasn't recording it at the desk, so I didn't have the stats pulled up next to me. So in this case, you guys could see that, like, I am just going in with this blind, and then Ultimate Gohan does take care of it, so we get some Ultimate Gohan footage, which is super, super fun. So, boom, there we go. Now we are moving on to the next phase, and this is going to be up against Buu Piccolo. Buu Piccolo has 55 million, 55 million HP. He has a 480,000 attack stat with a 550,000 defensive stat. He is doing 64% damage reduction, and then his super attack, the Light Grenade, causes supreme damage and stuns the enemy for 1 turn. So if he hits Vegeta with this super attack, which I think he does, he obviously is going to stun him, so that is a bit of a pain in the ass because, you know, we're trying to get in and out of this as quick as possible. It does 1.2 million as 1 per turn, and there is a 5 cooldown. Now, can't be stunned, can't be sealed, no attack lowering, no defensive lowering, and he is dealing 30,000 damage to us at the beginning of every turn, and then he recovers 2% HP. I don't know if it's every turn or if he has, like, I think it's just like one of his attack nodes is a healing up of 2% HP. So keep that in mind as we are continuing to go through this run. If he does get a 2% HP on 55 million or whatever that may be, I forget if it's 2% of 55 million or if it's 2% of the HP he has remaining. Either way, it's a decent bit. So, like, you know, 2% of 55 million. It's like, what is that? 1% is, I can't do math on the top of my head. So 10% would be 5 million. So it'd be like, what, like 500,000? So 2% is like, he's healing up 1 million HP. Am I tripping? I needed some water, sorry. But Orange Piccolo doing his thing right here. What do you got for me, partner? 2.1, not terrible. Okay, so he's going to deal the 30,000 damage to us. And now, yeah, like, so you can see at this point where I'm at, I'm thinking this is the last phase. But I don't remember, do I use this active skill? I might. No, I don't. Okay. I'm being smart. I'm thinking like, okay, we're probably going to have to save that. And then right here with the key, I'm not sure what to do. I go with the rainbow orbs. Don't really know if that made a huge difference or not. So 3.3 million, that's decent. Yeah, that makes sense. Math is hard, all right? but 2%, I think it's of whatever is left. So boom, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I had a moment. Math is hard, okay? But let's see. So yeah, it's looking like if I'm guessing correctly, we don't even use Orange Piccolo in this specific run. So that is cool. It's not a time saver because, as you guys can see, this is still a long ass run, but it's all good. Boom, Ultimate Gohan doing his thing. 16 million damage on the Dokkan attacks, obviously very nice. Boom, bam, bop, doing his thing, and he's just soloing. So it's like once we got into Ultimate Gohan, he really did start putting in work. BUUHAN tried to, or Buu Piccolo tried to tank us there, but nay. So right here, you can see we have a double Evolution Blue Vegeta. So I believe I checked defense, and it's the exact same right here. So it's like I put Evo Ken in that spot, and then we check defense, and it's like, I'm pretty sure it's exactly the same. Like, to a T. Yeah, 569,104. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Or it's just like literally the same exact thing. And then I think what I do, because of the attack spread, I'm like, I don't want to put, I want to keep Evo Ken out of harm's way. So I put them in slot 3 and forgo the links on the Evolution Blue Vegeta in the front. Now, I know that might sound a little like bold, but I was thinking at that time where I'm like, listen, that one attack on Evo Ken is going to be the super, because that's just my luck in this game. And I was at that point, I'm like, okay, and I'm pretty sure I'm thinking I have the revive right here, but no, I don't remember if I do or not. But you guys can see that Evolution Blue Vegeta is going to go ahead and clean this up for us. So there we have it. Like I said, if you have made it to this point, thank you very much. Leave a like and a comment for the algorithm. Be greatly appreciated. You guys know how YouTube is these days. But this has been a fun one. We'll see if we get another Red Zone stage for the celebration. Maybe we get another one, maybe we don't. It's tough to say, but there we have it. I just want to reiterate that this was not supposed to be a guide for the Powerful Comeback team. I don't want you guys to get the wrong idea and think it's like, oh yeah, this was like clickbait or anything like that. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate your time very, very much. If you did enjoy today's video, like I said, leave a like and subscribe if you are new so you don't miss out on any Dokkan content like this. If you want to see a Powerful Comeback run in the future for this team, especially on Global, just let me know down below. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for a member shout out, and I'll see you all in the next one. Before we go, I want to give a quick shout out to the channel members. You guys know the drill with this. If you want to become a channel member, down below and have a shout out every single video and an initial one when you join, here you guys go. You can click the link in the description. Big shout outs to Cal Manning, Saffron Coriander, Big Han, No, Sky Knight, Cheese, Baby Chicken, Rylick, James, Macker, Static, White Tea Steve, Adto, Towelette, Blitz, Wanix, Joao, Shafted, Ashish, Scar, James, and Raudo. So big shout out to all the channel members. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.